encourage, motivate, inspire, guide you into excellence. Your success matters. Your dreams matter. Sign up right now with Shepherd One Coaching and become a better you. Dr. Tony D. Collins is here to encourage, motivate, inspire, guide you into excellence. Your success matters. Your dreams matter. Sign up right now with Shepherd One Coaching and become a better you. Dr. Tony D. Collins is here to encourage, motivate, inspire, guide you into excellence. Your success matters. Your dreams matter. Sign up right now with Shepherd One Coaching and become a better you. Dr. Tony D. Collins is here to encourage, motivate, inspire, guide you into excellence. Your success matters. Your dreams matter. Sign up right now with Shepherd One Coaching and become a better you.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well on this wonderful Thursday evening. I so appreciate how you all have come in tonight. You come in early, and I'm grateful to you for that. So let me take the time to greet everybody who's already checked in. And let me say right from the beginning, I'm loving how you all are slamming that hashtag Mocha Crew. Good evening to you, Vera and Joyce and Terica Zam and Denise and Toya and Jackie, Brittany, uh, Pat Hall, Tisha, Monica, Dr. Pat, Player Hater, Vonda, Ron, Tracy, Lachelle, Erica. Good evening to each and every one of you all. Man, I'm so delighted once again that you have joined us tonight. You all are becoming or have already become my regular and my favorite crew. Good evening, Ann. Thank you for joining us tonight. You all are popping in early, and man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Kathy, good evening to you. Y'all look like y'all are poised and ready to get this thing going tonight, quick, fast, and in a hurry. And so, because you all have been so cooperative, you've done so well getting logged on early tonight. I want to just jump right in to what we want to talk about tonight. Tonight, I want to talk to you about not becoming a prisoner of another person's problems. Yes, but before I get into that, I've got to pause for the calls. Y'all know what just happened. Anytime Lady Ann pops in, I don't care what I'm in the middle of. I can be in mid-sentence. Y'all know I'm going to stop and acknowledge my girl, Lady Ann. Always delighted when she pops in on us. And like I say every night, she's here with us faithfully because she's a part of the Mocha crew, the Mocha community. For those of you that may be joining us for the very first time, some of you may not know who I am. I am the host of Mocha Moments. I am also the senior pastor of Canaan Worship Center. Although this is not a preaching platform, this is not really about Canaan. This is about Mocha Moments. This is a platform where I just share practical wisdom for daily living. Those who are a part of the Mocha crew, they too are committed. They have committed to join me in helping to share and spread value or add value to other people, to the people that they come in contact with. Just disciplining themselves and practicing just to do whatever they can to make someone else's day. That's what I'm here for. I'm here tonight to try to make your day. Every time I come on, my intention, my objective always is to add value to the people whom I'm able to connect with. Now, another thing that the Mocha crew always does, the Mocha crew always shares the link with someone else and invites them to become a part of these sessions that we hold on a regular basis. We've been in a 30-day challenge for the last, 28 days now? 27, 28, somewhere in there. I just know that the last day of the 30-day challenge will be this coming Sunday. Sunday will be the last day of the 30-day challenge, but it will not be the last day for Mocha Moments. As a matter of fact, we're going to start up our regular schedule, and the regular schedule is going to be on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings. Okay, that's going to be the regular schedule. I'm going to be coming on 3 times a week. I'm going to take the weekends off. Tuesday night is our Bible study, and so we're going to leave Bible study open just for Bible study, and I'm going to direct all of my time and energies towards teaching our Bible study. But you're welcome to join us for our Bible study, for those of you that are not members of Canaan Worship Center. But yeah, we'll be coming on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I leave Friday night open because, as I stated to you all, it was either last week or the week before, or I might have said something both weeks. That Friday nights I've designated as date night for Lady Ann and myself. That's the time we intentionally spend time together, relaxing or doing whatever it is we choose to do. But we do it together. That's our special night together. And I'm going to make sure that I keep that going for as long as she'll have me. So according to our vows, that would be till death do us part. All right. So, and I would encourage you, if you're a married individual or you're in the dating stage, that you would designate a special night for you and the person with whom you are in a special relationship with. All right. But again, we invite you to become a part of the Mocha crew. All you have to do is throw up that hashtag Mocha crew, and that puts you in. And if you will commit to doing, what we've asked you to do, then you can be a part of the Mocha crew. Someone asked the question: are we shooting for 7:30ish on those days? Possibly. I probably will come on a little bit earlier. You know, I'm looking more so to come on around 7 p.m. All right. I think that would be a little bit more feasible. But, you know, once again, you turn those notifications on whenever I come on. You will be notified that we are on, and you can get on and join us. And thank you, Lady Ann, for confirming what I just put out there about Friday night being date night. You know, and I don't blame her for not wanting to spend the evening with me. No, but y'all, for real, y'all can't blame me for wanting to spend the evening with her. That's our special time together, and we have been enjoying it tremendously. And I don't want to stop the flow. I want to keep it flowing. Vera, you go on with yourself. Every night is date night. Well, to some degree, I totally agree with that, even from my perspective. But the problem is, oftentimes I'm doing stuff like this. I'm working. You know, and while Lady Ann is always on my mind, I have to keep my work on my mind as well and do what I do. Well, let's get into this subject matter here tonight. Again, I want to encourage you not to become a prisoner of another person's problems. I've discovered that the two most abused relationship entities are families and friendships. I say that because it is in the relationships of families and friendships that's where unrealistic expectations surface most. If you are ever going to encounter people that have unrealistic expectations of you, I guarantee you it's going to be your family and friends that you discover that to be the case with the most. Now, as a pastor, I can probably throw in church members as well, but I'm really not trying to go there tonight. But I just want to kind of focus on our normal and natural and day-to-day relationships. All of us have families. We were born into families. And you know what? Here's the good thing about family. With regards to family, families are not necessarily the people or the group that you were born into. Families can be extended to those who have become an intimate part of your circle, who you've developed a relationship with that is supposed to be loving, caring, unconditional, and all of that other wonderful stuff that makes up good, healthy, wholesome relationships. Friendships are the other place, as I said, wherein unexpectations has a tendency every now and then to rear its ugly head. Sometimes your friends can expect more out of you than what's really reasonable. Some people expect their friends and family members not just to hear about their problems, but to take ownership of their problems, especially when they have problems with other people. How many of you can really relate to that right there? How many of you have actually been in that type of situation wherein someone else, a family member or a friend, has a problem, particularly with another person, and they expect you to take ownership of their problems? You know, oftentimes it can merely be a matter of misery loves company. You know, I'm amazed at how many people love to host pity parties with themselves being the guest of honor. That just amazes me, you know. Um, and anytime they fall into these ruts, people fall into these ruts. Not all people, but some people. Anytime some people, some of your friends and family, when they fall into these ruts, they don't ever want to feel as though that they're in it by themselves. They always want to pull somebody else in to the mess that they've gotten themselves in. And then not only do they want that other person to be pulled in, but they literally expect the people whom they pull in to take ownership of their problems. They are miserable. And while they're miserable, they want company in their misery. I'm amazed at how many people just love pity parties. You know, now my take on pity parties is this: pity parties are for pitiful people. Say that 3 times real fast. Pity parties are for pitiful people. Now, I honestly feel that way, you know. Um, and some people just love to wallow rather in pity. They love to wallow in misery. They love to just lay in it. They feel real comfortable in it. As a matter of fact, I know some people that it seems to me that if they're not having some kind of problem that they can complain about, they just aren't happy people. It's as though some people just look for problems when there are no problems, and they love hosting these pity parties because these pity parties gets them the attention they so desperately desire. You know, those are some of the most annoying people to me. I get extremely annoyed by people that seem as though they are always in need of attention. Look at me, look at me, look at me. What about me? What about me? What about me? And if you don't turn and pay attention to them uh, quickly enough, then they'll start to do something or whatever it takes to grab your attention. And a lot of times, um, it's just them complaining and being negative and being so pessimistic about everything. They can't find anything good about anything in life. I am so annoyed with those kind of people, because those kind of people, they are literally downers. They can suck the air out of a room quick, fast, and in a hurry. They can burst your bubble, your balloon, your tires, whatever has wonderful, good, productive air in it. They can burst it. They can suck it out. That's just how they operate. It's what they do. And I will repeat what I said a minute ago. They are absolutely annoying. I don't have time to entertain people and their pity parties. So whenever I'm invited to a pity party, I usually decline the invitation. You know, I used to try to be somewhat accommodating toward people, try to be understanding, try to be patient and all of that. But when it gets to the point where it becomes a regular routine for you, and it seems like that's all you ever want to do, at some point, I've got to bail out. At some point, I've got to just choose not to participate in your pity party. Let me get to some of your comments here. Toya says, I don't want to be close to anybody for the sake of trauma bonding. Oh, girl, I tell you what, you'll come up with some stuff. These are some phrases that um, uh, I've never really heard before, and maybe it's because of the industry that you work in. These are phrases, or it's the lingo that you all use within your profession. But Toya, that's deep right there. I don't want to be close to anybody for the sake of trauma bonding. I want people around me who are inspiring, motivated, and encouraging. Then I reciprocate. You know what's so wise about that is that you've just given the recipe for growth and success, because those who are around you, those who are within your inner circle, those whom you choose to hang out with, they ultimately will have an influence on you. And people will either add value to you or they'll suck the life out of you. Um, uh, I'm not quite understanding your question, but let me read it anyway, Marcus. What do you do when they call you 12 o'clock in the morning and you got to go to work? Oh, well, if they're calling you with a pity party, if they're on the other line having a pity party, sometimes you just got to let it be known. Say, hey, listen, I would love to talk to you for a while, but I've got to go to work. It's late, and I've got to get my rest so I can be fresh in the morning, so I can perform at my maximum level of potential when I get on my job. Sometimes you have to be honest with people and just tell them how it really is. That's not being rude. That's not being nasty. That's being very honest. Toya says, very much my lingo within my career. So again, that's interesting. I love that. I'm learning something here. Again, I tell you all every night that I gain as much from you as you gain from me. And so now I've got another phrase to add to my repertoire of communicating with people. Lachelle says, that's good, Toya, that's good. Trauma bonding. And, some people don't mind trauma bonding. But again, as I stated earlier, pity parties are for pitiful people. Teacher says, I recently had to distance myself from a relative. Every day they had problems. They would get mad when I would tell them the truth. I must add, 99.999% of their problems they brought on themselves. That's usually the case. That's typically the case for people who love to wallow in misery and then expect other people rather, to wallow with them. Most of the time, they have created their own problems, their own situations, but then they expect someone else to pick up their problem, okay, and carry their problem, which becomes a problem in and of itself. Vonda says, at this point in my life, I must protect my peace. Oh, I'll say amen to that. I can no longer engage with people having pity parties. I move on and make a choice to be joyful and give thanks in all situations. God is too good. And I'll say a triple amen to that. I feel the same way. At this point in my life, there comes a time really when you start to feel like that I'm just too old to be dealing with certain things. And when you really say it really, really bluntly, you might say it like this: I'm too old to be dealing with a bunch of foolishness. Vonda goes on to say, misery won't get my company. Why? Because misery doesn't deserve your company. Lady Ann is giving kudos to Toya, trauma bonding. Love that. I do too. Marcus says you have to be careful of that because the problems that they have can transfer to you. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I believe, honestly, I truly believe that problems carry spirits, and spirits can influence your atmosphere and your attitude. And when your attitude is messed up, you already know that the atmosphere is going to be messed up, because there is nothing good about being around people who have messed up attitudes. And that's what happens with people who are always complaining, who are always talking about their problems, and then expect you to take on the problems that they're carrying. So again, I think we are all in agreement with this whole thing about not entertaining pity parties. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. Why? Because typically pity parties they involve complaining about things that the person cannot change. It involves worrying about things that may never happen. Oftentimes, people who have pity parties are manufacturing things that haven't happened. They're imagining things. They are making up things. Why? For dramatic effects. And that's another thing that I don't need constantly in my life at this stage of my life. I don't need a bunch of drama in my life. I'm too old to entertain drama constantly. You know, I'm gonna be real transparent about something right now. I have someone who is constantly attacking me right now as we speak. I mean, just constantly. Ask me what I've done to the individual. Absolutely nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. But I think what they're most upset about right now is that I don't give it energy. I don't respond. I have not to this day responded to anything they have said about me or tried to do to me. I refuse to respond. And since they want to be as miserable as they seem to be, I'm going to let them be that, but they're not going to pull me into their misery. I'm a be like the song used to say when we were little kids. There's a song we used to sing all the time, and some of you may remember it. But the song was real simple. It went like this: I'm inside, outside, upside, downside, happy all the time. A little kid song, but I'm telling you, it was a powerful song. Toya says, too pitiful and miserable people will not cancel each other out. It just multiplies. Enough of that spread out will create a miserable and pitiful community. Look around at the world. There's my young philosopher again. The young philosopher strikes again. Thank you, Toya. That's beautifully said. I couldn't have said it any better myself. Tisha says, that's the situation I was in. Lord, a ton of weight lifted off me when I said deuces. Oh yeah, absolutely. When you refuse to entertain the foolishness, when you refuse to allow people to dump their problems off on you or use you as the central point or the object of their problems, when you allow that to happen, it only creates misery in your life. But when you decide, hey, I'm not entertaining that, I'm not falling for that, listen, you free yourself from ever becoming entrapped by that kind of foolishness. Tracy says, at this point in my life, I will not let your problems become my problem. That's what I'm talking about. That's what this discussion is really all about tonight. Ivana says, no more drama, period. Period. No more drama. You know, Marcus says they better leave my family alone. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, because it's gonna be all right. I'm good. I'm good. Believe it or not. You know what? I've had years of experience with ignoring people, and I've really got that thing down pat. I really know how to ignore people. I know how to turn people off. I know how to shut them out. I can stand right in your face and you be invisible to me. I'm talking about when you are bringing foolishness at me. Nah, I'm not about to entertain it. Not at all. No, protect your peace. I agree, Denise. You got to protect your peace. Dr. Pat says, I'm intentional about trying to protect my peace. I have my own trauma that I must and I am addressing. Glory to God for walking me through it. What a testimony right there. And I think that's clear transparency. I think most of us can have that kind of resolve. The resolve to be intentional, understanding that I have my own stuff that I need to deal with, and so I don't need to take on anybody else's stuff. Tara Kazam says, listen, not my monkeys, not my circus. Here come the funny philosophers again. Y'all keep that foolishness at y'all house. Oh my goodness. Whoa, Lord. You know what? If this keeps going like this entire year while we're coming together on this platform of Mocha Moments, I'm going to have a graduation, and I'm going to have to hand out some degrees because I'm telling you, funny philosophers, man, y'all deserve some type of credentials to show that you all are professional at what you do. Boy, that's a good one. I'm telling you, that's one. I'm gonna throw that up again. Listen, not my monkeys, not my circus. Y'all keep that foolishness at y'all house. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, don't get me started. I'll get to laughing and I'll just totally lose control. Kanan knows how I am. My members know how I am with regards to that. Toya says, this is why I love Mocha Crew. After listening to so many with a variety of problems in my career, it's refreshing to decompress with my crew. Thank you once again, my young philosopher, because I feel the same way. It's sometimes we need to be able to decompress, to get some things off of our chest, to be able to laugh after having a day filled with issues, problems, putting out fires, dealing with situations, challenges, and all of that. And I'm not saying that every day is filled with those things, but those times when those kind of things arise or surface during the day, you can't wait until the end of the day wherein you can get away from all of that. And now you have a place where you can come to and decompress and hear words of wisdom from other people and actually get a good laugh every now and then. I feel you, Toya. Thank you for sharing that with us. Ron says they have a city dump for them to drop off their trash. Man. Funny philosophers, y'all on it tonight once again. Let's see. Player hater, he threw up the hashtag again. Funny philosopher crew. I'm starting to like that hashtag. It's about to catch on, y'all. Don't fight the feeling. Go ahead and catch on. Throw it up every now and then. He's got something started. Player hater. I believe it's a he, right? Right, player hater. But anyway, player hater got something started. Throw it up every now and then. If you can relate to that or resonate with that, if that feels good to you, go ahead and throw up the funny philosopher crew. That's all right. That's all right. Denise, no nonsense, hashtag no nonsense and hashtag no foolishness. Keep the nonsense moving. And as you move it away from me. You know, another thing about people who are constantly having pity parties, they often make conclusions that are unsubstantiated. I mean, think about some of the people that you talk to that are always complaining about something, always want to dump their problems off on you. I mean, if you start to play some of your conversations or your encounters with them, if you start to replay them in your mind, you'll start to hear a little bit of everything of what I'm talking about right here. They're complaining. They're always worried about something. They embellish things. They manufacture stuff. They think they have the answer to everything. They judge. They make conclusions, unsubstantiated conclusions. And then they want you to buy into it all. They want you to buy into it hook, line, and sinker. And it's ridiculous. And once again, need I say, it's very, very annoying. I mentioned a minute ago about these people that want to dump their problems on other people. These people that want to host pity parties, they often make conclusions that are unsubstantiated. And they love to do it with regards to people. They think they're this and they think they're that. I can't stand them because of this, and I can't stand them because of that. They think they're better than me. Here's the reality. That person probably isn't even thinking about them. And the only person that thinks that they think that they're better than the complainer is the complainer themselves. If you're constantly saying they think that they're better than me, it's not really them that's thinking that. It's you that's thinking that. You think that they're better than you. And who would know better than yourself? You probably, I'm not talking to you all, but I'm talking about these other people that, fall in this category. They likely have some insecurities. And they try to put other people down to try to mask their own insecurities. And they're really telling off on themselves with regards to how they feel about other people. And in the final analysis, most of the time, that other person barely even knows they exist. But then they've made conclusions about this person. Look, they just look at me funny. Well, how does a person look at you and they look at you funny? How can you know what a person's thinking just because they looked at you? What does it look like? I've asked people that on several occasions. Will people be looking at me all funny? Well, how do they look when they look at you funny? Could it be they're just funny looking? How about that? No, making all of these unsubstantiated conclusions. That's a mess. Kathy says they want to make you as their human garbage disposal. Terrible. And shame on them for doing that. But even more so, shame on you if you allow them to do that. And I don't care who it is. There comes a time, rather, when you just have to draw the line with some people. You have to put some things in check. You have to put people on notice that I can't allow you to dump on me. I can't be a part of your pity party while you're constantly complaining about all of your problems and talking terribly about a bunch of other people. I cannot be privy to that because, again, when you open yourself up to that kind of spirit, that spirit will jump in you, that spirit will jump off on you, and you'll find yourself in worse condition than the person who brought all that mess to you. Listen, if you buy into all that foolishness, then you become a prisoner of another person's problems. And that's pitiful. You become just as pitiful as they are. But if you don't buy in, here's where the trouble begins. You are accused of not understanding, not caring, not being a true friend, or they'll even call you a traitor. They'll call you or accuse you of not being a loving individual. And then they'll even call you downright selfish. When in reality, all the selfishness is flowing from them. Kendra says, how are you looking to them? You repeat what I said. You might be funny looking to them. Well, yeah, that might be the case. But coming to conclusions, it's really about your insecurities and not necessarily about how that other individual is feeling or thinking about you. You never can know how a person thinks or feels about you until you either ask them or personally engage them. Wow. I was just having a conversation with someone today, and we were talking about a mutual friend of ours that before we got to know the individual, we thought the person was kind of mean and unfriendly. But once we got to know the individual very well, we both fell in love with that individual, and that individual wound up being one of the most wonderful people that either of us could have ever met. Just an amazing person. I think someone said last night, you can't judge a book by its cover. And you can't always judge what's behind the face. Because sometimes people may not look so inviting, but they have a very warm and inviting spirit. But then sometimes people can be very outgoing and seem to be so inviting, but you find later on they have one of the nastiest dispositions you've ever encountered in your life. So don't make conclusions based on a look, But again, when people start having problems with other people, they want those around them to buy into their problem. They want the people within their circle to be upset with whomever they're upset with, despite the fact that individual has done nothing to them. They demand that you be upset just as they are. Sometimes they'll give you a backstory as to why they're upset with a certain individual. And again, we'll just eat it up. We'll buy it. We'll take it to be true. And if you're not careful, you might even find yourself saying, I knew there was something about her. I knew there was something about you. You didn't know anything. You're starting to take on someone else's offense. And really, not only are you becoming a prisoner, but you're becoming a puppet as well, because you got somebody else that's pulling your strings and getting you to dance to their music. And when that happens, you become just as pitiful as the person with all the problems. Let's see what Brittany has to say. Brittany says, when a person puts all their problems on you, it's a learned behavior. Someone put all their problems on them when they were younger. At some point, you have to unlearn problem dumping. I think we got a second young philosopher with us. my young people, they're spitting some stuff here. They're sharing some real good stuff here. So, Toya and Brittany, y'all are becoming my young philosophers crew, and I appreciate you sharing that. There goes Toya. Toya is confirming and affirming what Brittany has just stated. Vera says, right, have a mind of your own. Jackie says, Brittany, that's good. That's very good. Tisha says, Brittany, that's fire. They're loving it. Thank you once again for sharing that. And that's an interesting concept there. Having to unlearn problem dumping. You know, there are certain things that we all at times need to just unlearn, especially if it's not productive. If it's non-productive stuff, those are the things that we definitely need to unlearn. Get out of the habit of practicing those things. And then don't expect anyone else to join in with you. Listen, it's even worse when the person with the problem has created the problem and even is the problem. You know they're wrong. They know they're wrong, but you had better not tell them that they're wrong, because if you dare tell them that they're wrong, then they're going to turn on you, and that's when all the accusations begin to break out. Toya says, "All right, Bishop, it's counterproductive. It absolutely is." Jackie says, I've seen parents dump on their children. Sad but real these days. Oh, it happens all the time. I've also seen adult children dump on their parents. Don't get me started with that. Please don't get me started with that one, because I've seen that too many times as well. Ungrateful children, disrespectful children, children who create problems themselves, adult children who create their own problems, but then they want to blame their parents and everybody else for the problems they created themselves. That dumping thing, that's a terrible, terrible thing. Some things you just need to own it and work through it yourself and not try to pass it off on anybody else. Now, I know most people that probably need to hear this part of the discussion, they're not on here. Those of you that are on here, here's what we all need to make sure that we discipline ourselves not to do, and that is become the prisoner of someone else's problems. We don't allow yourself to be that individual. Steer clear of people who are always trying to dump on you. Now let me be very clear about this, because before I close this out, I definitely want to make this point. because I don't want to get it twisted. I don't want people to get the notion that I feel like that you should never make yourself available to be there with a person in their time of needs or when they're going through some difficult things. But you got to know that there's a difference between a person venting to you and dumping on you. Okay? So I need to say that again? Okay, I will. There's a difference between a person venting to you and dumping on you. People who vent really just want to be heard. They only need you to listen. Okay? And that's something that we all can practice doing all the time. Because the more you practice, the better you get. That's to listen. Not to speak, but to listen. People will come to you and they will vent to you because they need to be heard. They need to get something off their chest, and they only need you to listen. People who want to dump on you either want you to fix their problem, sit with them in their problems, or both. Either way, you're going to take on the weight of their situation. You're going to take on the weight of their problem, and they expect you to. That's why they bring it to you, because they know you will allow them to dump on you. But as Deacon Ron said a few moments ago, that you got to let people know you're not a dumping ground. There are places designated for dumping trash. Toya says problem dumping is also a symptom of the lack of coping and problem solving. Yes, they are unable to manage and emotionally unstable. That's absolutely right. That's the reason why they got to find someone that they feel can handle their problems better than they can. They don't want to deal with it. And really, they don't want the help. Because what I have experienced is with dealing with people like that, if you try to offer any kind of help and that help calls for them or requires them to do something different outside of their comfort zone, outside the norm, they'll react by blowing up at you and getting upset with you. Joyce says the only parties I attend are praise party. That's it. That's all. Keep it real. How about that? Get your praise on, girl. Get your praise on. Kathy says you have to set boundaries in what you allow people to give you information. Yeah, that gotta set. I talk about those boundaries all the time. Boundaries are so necessary, but they are seldom used. And you got to use. See, one of the reasons why we are so hesitant about setting up boundaries is because we are convinced that when we set up boundaries, people are going to be offended. Sometimes you can't worry about whether or not people are getting offended, because sometimes when people get offended, it's simply a sign of their immaturity. It has nothing to do with you. Sometimes they know that what you're trying to share with them, show them, or tell them, they know that you're absolutely right and they need it much. But because they're so immature, they'll get upset with you rather than receiving from you. Kathy talks about managing expectations. You have to do that. Mature people know how to manage expectations. Keisha says they always have problems for your solutions. I think someone mentioned earlier, I'm not quite sure who it was, but someone says that they always have problems, but they never have any solutions. But again, when they can dump on you, what do they need solutions for? And then some of them they have the audacity to even now say, well, you got it all figured out. Well, you do it. You fix it. Well, first of all, lady, brother, whomever, it's not my problem. It's your problem. I'm not in need of a fix or a resolution or having something solved. I'm not the one in need. You are. And so again, that's where you have to be bold enough to set boundaries and let people know exactly where you stand with certain things. Let me give you this last little bit that I want to share with you, and then we're going to call it a night. When it comes to dealing with people who want to dump their problems off on you, I'm not telling you to be cruel and cold, but here's what you can do. You can be present for the person, but don't become attached to their situation. Be present, but don't become attached. You can be empathetic, but don't become engulfed. Wow. You can tell the person, I feel for you. You can likely say, I've been where you are. I've gone through what you've gone through or something similar to. But don't you allow yourself to become engulfed in the situation. You should listen intently, but say as little as possible. Also, I think this is important. Don't be critical, but never affirm unreasonable actions or thinking. Okay? You don't have to just jump down on them and be very critical of them, but neither do you have to affirm them when you know they are saying and doing the wrong thing. But here's the last thing that I want to leave you with, and I think this is very important. Leave the problem with them and don't carry the problem for them. I think that's a good place to end it right there. That's a good place to end it. Is that all right with you all? All right. All right. Well, I hope y'all been blessed for tonight. I'm going to call it a wrap for tonight. I hope that you've benefited from this discussion. I know I have. I have benefited immensely from this discussion, and thank all of you for your wonderful, wonderful input. Your input is invaluable. We need it. We are here actually having sessions wherein iron is sharpening iron, and we're going to get better and better day by day, and with each and every Mocha Moments discussion. Once again, it's been my joy, it's been my pleasure, and I'm so grateful that you have made a conscientious decision to join us each and every night for Mocha Moments. I look forward to being with you on tomorrow night, 7:30-ish, somewhere there about. It might be a little bit early because this is Thursday, so tomorrow night is Friday. Since I'm in this 30-day challenge, I'm going to come on tomorrow night, Friday night. But I'm going to come on just a little bit earlier. So please be watching your phone and watch for your notification. I'm going to come on a little bit earlier so that Lady Ann and myself can get our date night started a little earlier. And so those of you that have date night as well, you can get it started a little bit earlier also. All right. I'm going to sign off like I normally do. And with that, I'm going to say God bless and good night.